Have you ever felt like a pressure cooker? Have you ever felt like a pressure cooker? What's up, family? What's going on? It's Thursday, 6:30. Time to get a little sharper. What's happening with you? Welcome to the Anti-Negativity Network. Back here again to make it do what it do. And yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here to do it again. So let me, without delaying anymore, let me bring my other half in. Let me bring her on in here. Add her in here. Yes, indeed. So, hey, babe.
Hey.
Hey. So, yeah, we're here. We're here to make it do what it do. Hope everyone is well and having a good week so far, and looking forward to the weekend. But make sure let's finish this week strong. Let's finish it strong. Don't sell yourself short. Don't cut yourself short. Go keep pushing. Keep pushing. I know the weekend coming. I know you see that and you're ready to get to it. But there's some things you need to do and finish before that weekend comes so you can enjoy the weekend just a little bit more because you know you got something accomplished. So keep pushing. Keep pushing. So, but yeah, we here to do it again and got my lovely wife here with me. So this is already good. This is already good. So, babe, you got anything you want to say real quick?
No. Hello, everyone, and miss you, babe.
Miss you too. Miss you too. I see you in a few days.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but before we get started, one thing I do want to say is thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna probably put a post out and some other stuff, and I know when I do my monthly vlog for the National Bowling Association, I'm gonna say it again. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the congrats and the love shown for me being reelected as president of the National Bowling Association. I am absolutely honored, still excited, and thankful for that opportunity. And so, got more work to do. The work is continuing and it's starting it all at the same time. So, but I'm thankful and yeah. So, just want to say thank you to everybody. Much love and much appreciation. All right. So, yeah. So, oh, and one other thing I want to say before I forget right now. Please stay posted. Not exactly sure how next week is going to work out because I do have a scheduling conflict on next week, and I may have to do it a little bit earlier on next week because I know we always do 6:30. That is my time. I hate not being on point in place at 6:30, but I may have to tweak my time next week only, just next week only. So, but we'll see. I'll put a post out to let everyone know what time we'll be coming on. But if you can't make it at that time, it's going to be on Facebook, so you can always go back and take a look. All right. So, but I appreciate you supporting us for all of these years. Every day when you tune in, you chime in, you say, "Hey, Ron, listen to you, enjoyed you." Thank you, all of that stuff. It all matters, and I just want to say thank you for that as well. So, but all right, before we get into chapter 45, let's do what we always do. You ready, babe?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. One, two, three. One, two, three. One more time. One, two, three. All right. All right, there we go. There we go. So, chapter 45, I asked the question, have you ever been like a pressure cooker? Have you ever felt like a pressure cooker? Like, you got to get this out. If I don't get this out, I'm a bust. I'm going to explode, right? Well, here's Joseph's turn. Joseph is the pressure cooker right now. Because in chapter 45, if you remember last week, the brothers had came back and they came back with Benjamin, which was what they had to do. Because at the time, they didn't realize that that was Joseph. All they knew that he was the guy that was second in command. I don't even know if we remember what they called him. They just knew he was second in command. He was in charge of Egypt and everything. And Pharaoh gave him carte blanche to do whatever and be in control. And so the brothers came back and they brought Benjamin, And Joseph was trying to keep Benjamin, but the brother stood up. Judah stood up and said, "No, we can't leave Benjamin. I'll stay in place. I'll stay here instead of Benjamin, because if Benjamin does not go back home, we're gonna lose our father." All right, and so that's kind of how 44 ended. I'm not gonna go deep into 44 because I always tell you every week, read it for yourself. But then we moved to 45, and so with that being said, now Joseph got to make a decision. Joseph got to make the decision now, because either he gonna keep Judah or not. Really, that's the bottom line. He got to make that decision. And so, because he already knows, based upon what Judah told him, that if you keep Benjamin, then their father's going to pass. Well, guess what? That's Joseph's father too. So now, what you going to do, Joseph? And this is where Joseph he ordered everybody to get out, all of his attendees, everybody that pretty much works for him or is at his beck and call, so to speak. He tell all of them to get out. And when he tell all of them to get out, well, I shouldn't say get out. He asked them to leave, but he was overcome with emotion. So when we have that emotion going on, we don't just say it lightly. We say it with that I mean what I say type of thing. There's some fire in it. There's some feelings and some emotion in it. And so that's what happened here. Joseph got to that point where now I can't hold it in no more. And he starts to cry, and then he goes to tell his brothers, I am Joseph. I am Joseph. And so, needless to say, the brothers is in a state of shock and awe, like speechless, don't know what to say. Have you ever been in that position where you like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, I can't believe what I'm hearing? Is this true? And so all those, I can only imagine what's going through the brothers' heads and minds, because all they knew was that they sold their brother into slavery, and they thinking they're never going to see him again. So then when he lets them know that he is Joseph, can you imagine all the thoughts that went through their mind, knowing that they had sold their brother, and they tried to kill their brother even prior to selling him, right? They was plotting on them big time, right? So threw him in a pit and all of that stuff. They tried to do some stuff to him. And now they have to find out that the one that they have been coming to get what they need so that the people don't die because of famine going on is actually their brother that they sold to slavery. Woo! Can you imagine being in that position? Either side, in Joseph's position or the brother's position. Can you imagine being there? What you got, babe?
One thing that I noticed was Joseph wept. He
Yes.
wept so loud that,
Yes.
The word got carried back to Pharaoh. And it's interesting because I had a conversation with my nephews, my grandchildren, because one of them cry all the time.
Yeah.
And so, I'm telling him, it's not good, for you to cry all the time. And then I felt convicted because I was wondering, was I sending mixed messages,
right?
Stating, telling him that men don't cry,
Right.
but it's okay for men to cry. Men should cry more often, like women, to be able to release a lot of those pent-up emotions and overwhelming feelings, just like Joseph did. And we know in the Bible it says Jesus wept. He cried. So men do cry. So again, I tried to do that balance. I'm like, but it's okay to cry, but not all the time.
No, see now I was gonna go there. As a card-carrying member of the male population, I was gonna tell you, no, we're not kidding. Us fellas, guys, we can't do it like the ladies do. No, that's not an option. But that doesn't mean that you're less than a man because you do cry. Because I'll tell you, I own mine. I'm a waterhead. It ain't nothing. I ain't got no problem crying. Okay, but don't take that crying as a weakness. And it's not like I'm gonna be crying all the time. No, as a man, you can know. That's not an option. But go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, and the other point that I was going to make was, you were talking about the emotions of the brothers and what they had did to Joseph and everything.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Uh-oh. What happened? Uh-oh. I think I lost her. Or did y'all lose me? I hope not. Oh, man. Hopefully she's able to get back on. But let's keep going. Oh, man. Hate that we cut her off. They just got cut off, man. You got to love technology. But I see you say go ahead. God dog it. We can try to get you back on here, babe. I'm going to go ahead and remove you right now. And see if we can get you back on here. I'll put another invite. But anyway, we're going to keep it going because, again, I don't want to, belabor the time. You there, babe? No, she's still not there. All right, I tried it one more time. I tried it. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. So again, the emotions that the brothers are experiencing because of the fact that now they are seeing their brother, the one that they tried to sell, the one they did sell to slavery, right? They sold him to get rid of him. And so they had to live a lie for many years. They had to carry that burden of that lie that they had, that lie that they had to tell their father. They told their father that he had died, but they couldn't tell their father that they actually sold him into slavery, right? Sold him to Egypt, to the Egyptians, which again was slavery. It was basically selling them out to slavery. They couldn't dare tell their father. So as far as their father knew, Joseph was dead, right? And so, carrying that burden for so many years, and I can, maybe some of us can relate to that part right there too. It's unfortunate, and it's one of those things that we really want to get that burden off of us, and unfortunately, some of us, life is just that much tougher simply because we have some things that's weighing us down, right? We have some things that we know we have done that was wrong. We know we have said some things that we know we was wrong. And in some situations, we can't go back and make it right because we can't reach out to that person that we did wrong or we did something wrong too, and so some folk have to go to their grave with that burden, right? And so, in reading this story right here in Genesis chapter 45, at the very beginning, because if you read 45, it talks about Joseph finally telling his brothers, who he is. And then, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of crying. And you read it talks about how he cried, the brothers cried, they talked. I can only imagine how much they had to talk about. I mean, this is years and years of stuff they done had to talk about. And then just the fact that we are now reunited, considering the history and what you tried to do, what they tried to do to Joseph, right? And so the emotions in the room can only be but so unbelievably crazy, right? But the beautiful thing about this that I want us to get out of chapter 45, there's three things I want us to get out of chapter 45. One is forgiveness, and if you read in chapter 45, Joseph tells the brothers, look, yes, what you did, we know what you did. We know what you tried to do to me, but it was really God's plan for that to happen. And unfortunately, my wife is not on here, but I'm going to share something that she shared. I really wanted her to share it because it was what God gave her, but I guess he knew this was going to come, so he had to give it to me to say it. But, when you think about what that whole thing that took place with the brothers, and Joseph told them that, hey, this was God's plan. God set this up just like this for it to happen just like this, right? And so, and God, Lord help me, Lord help me. But God, My mind is going 1,000 places a minute. Y'all pray for me, because man, this is so good. But the forgiveness part. Let me go back to forgiveness for a second. I know I said something about my wife, but and I'm gonna share. But the forgiveness, that's one piece right there that we all, I think all of us in some way, shape, or form have to and have had to deal with forgiveness. And it's not just forgiveness of what people have done to us, but simply trying to forgive ourselves for what we know we have done, right? And this right here is a situation right here where Joseph is telling the brothers, don't beat yourself up anymore. You know, don't feel bad about what you did anymore. Let it go. Because what you did to me was exactly what God wanted to happen. All right. And this is thank you, Holy Spirit, just reminding me. This is what my wife was saying earlier, was that, you know, sometimes, because you remember, but Joseph had these dreams, and the dreams that he shared with his brothers and his father, and of course they took exception to those dreams because it required them to bow down to him. But so sometimes God will show us the end result, okay, but he's not going to show you the process to get to that end result. And in this right here, this is a perfect example right here where Joseph had those dreams, saw the end result, but he had no clue how he was going to get to that end result. And that end result was him being sold out to slavery by his brothers. All to come full circle and come back to his brothers. And remember, they did bow down to him. And more than once they bowed down to him in reverence because of the position that he held. And so through all of that, all of those trials and tribulations, you know, Joseph stayed focused on what he was called to do, right? He was a dreamer. He was able to interpret dreams. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, and he had to go through all of that and go through telling the baker and the cupbearer the dreams, and then he had to, you know, tell Pharaoh the dreams about the famine and all of that. So he had to go through those things. Had to be in jail and had to be, you know, serving other guys that's in jail. He actually was in jail and had to serve other convicts. So you in jail and you didn't even do anything wrong to be in jail, right? But he's in jail and have to serve other guys who did something wrong. And so all of these things Joseph had to go through to get to this end point. And so one, we got to learn forgiveness, forgive ourselves, okay? But in that, I got a couple scriptures that came to mind, and my wife just said it right here: the steps of a good man are ordered. But in Genesis 50 and 20, and we know we're going to get to Genesis 50 and 20 eventually because we're in Genesis 45 and we're going chapter by chapter. But in Genesis 50 and 20, it says, and I'm paraphrasing, what you meant for harm, God made for my good, right? He turned it for my good, right? And he had to do that in order to accomplish what God said was going to happen. And so this Joseph had to go through these things in order to get what God promised was going to happen, right? And another scripture, we can go to the New Testament, you know, in Romans, and it talks about, we know that all things work together for the good of those that are called by God and according to his purpose, right? So Romans 8:28, read that one. I might have said it all wrong, but I know it's paraphrasing that one too. But, you know, the bottom line is God got all of that under control, right? He knows exactly what's going on. So when you, so some of the situations, some of the things you have gone through and have to go through, went through, and you didn't understand why you had to go through all of that. Why I had to go down that path of darkness, or down that path of trials and tribulations and pain and suffering and people just doing me wrong and saying stuff about me and just chopping my name up and just trying to destroy me, right? Trying to get rid of me, and they was not successful. You still here. You still pushing. You still grinding. You still doing your thing. And some of y'all actually made it through and reached that point that he showed you in the beginning. But you had to go through the struggle. You know, you had to go through those multiple jobs where they let you go. You had to go through the pain and the suffering. You had to go through some of the sickness. You had to go through somebody cussing you out. You had to go through the period instead of you cussing them out, you had to shut your mouth and hold on, and it hurt like I don't know what, because you was ready to let it rip, but you couldn't do it. Something happened where it wouldn't allow you to open your mouth. Okay, and guess what? All your steps was ordered then too. Yeah, he had all that in control because he already knew what you was trying to do and what you was going to do, and you was going to mess it up. All right. And then in some situations, we don't want to go through the test. We don't want to go through the grind. We don't want to go through the muck. We don't want to go through the nastiness. We don't want to go through the stuff where it hurt and it's uncomfortable. We don't want to go through the discomfort. We want the beauty at the end. We want the glory at the end, but we don't want the gory. We don't want the gory part. We just want the glory, right? But that ain't gonna always work like that. Sometimes you're gonna have to get your head bust open. Sometimes you have to get your nose blooded up a little bit. Sometimes you're gonna have to go through some persecution. You got to go through some folk trying to do something dirty and call it clean on your account. You know, they're gonna try to use you. They're gonna talk about you, and then they're gonna try to get all they can get out of you and make you look like you no good, make you look like you're not worthy, make it look like you just incompetent, you know, make it look like you don't know nothing. And all you had to do was just follow in God's steps because he's already ordered them. And that's exactly what happened with Joseph right here. So the thing I want us to get out of this right here is that just because you going through the stuff right now, don't think God ain't right there with you. Don't think he don't know what's going on. This ain't nothing new. We done talked about this before, but I'm bringing it up again because you need to hear this right now today. Because there's something you're going through and it don't feel good. It don't look good. It don't smell good. It don't sound good. The doctors have gave you a bad report, and the folk on the job, you know, the kids tripping, your husband tripping, your wife tripping, your family tripping, your money tripping, everybody tripping. Everybody tripping is tripping. Everybody tripping over each other, right? It's just crazy right now what's going on, and you don't have no answers. You don't have no understanding about what it is. That's why you need to read chapter 45. Read chapter 45, please. Let Joseph tell you how this gonna go. Let him, because he told his brothers are absolutely astonished, and what he tells them, look, let it go. I'm good. This had to happen in order for me to be to this point where I am now second in command. I went from one of the lowest slaves you can be. Why I'm one of the lowest slaves? Because I am in prison and I have to serve other convicts. I have to serve other prisoners. My brothers sold me out. Yes, they sold me out, but guess what? Look what happened. Now I'm in second in command. I call all the shots except for when Pharaoh decided he want to call the shots. I'm second in command. So now that we back together, let me show you some love. Let me show you some love because y'all my brothers. We blood. I know what happened back then, but that had to happen so I can get to this point so I can make sure my family good because this famine was coming. And so now because the famine is here and we got 5 more years to go, I had to be in this position so that I could take care of my family. So here's what's going to happen, right? And guess what? Pharaoh has now found out about what has happened. Pharaoh know that Joseph's brothers is there now. And as a result, guess what? Pharaoh is cool with this. Pharaoh is happy that Joseph's brothers have come. And so Pharaoh and Joseph link up and next thing you know, they tell him, hey, go home, take these, take what you need. Okay, I'm gonna give you some extra stuff to make sure that you head on back home. And I need you to head back home, get daddy, get the family, bring them all back here. There's no need of y'all staying there. Okay, no need of y'all staying there when we got everything right here where I can take care of the family. So go get daddy, get everybody, and come on back and let's live together as a family. So all this had to happen because God knew that famine was coming. Okay? But because of Joseph's willingness to go through it, Joseph, yes, Joseph was human. I'm sure Joseph has some questions as God, why I'm having to go through this? Why I'm having to deal with all of this craziness? Why my life happening like this? Joseph had those moments, especially when he was in jail. You know, when he was in jail, you don't think Joseph ain't have some questions. But he stayed focused on what God was telling him to do and when to do it and how to do it. And as a result, now he's in a position where now he can bring his entire family after he gave them, he's able to bring his family because of the position that he's in, and he showed them love, he showed forgiveness, and told the brothers, let it go. Everything is good. This had to happen like this. So for you, do that same thing. Forgive right now. Forgive yourself. Forgive those that try to sell you out or try to do something wrong to you. Forgive. Because God is ordering your steps. He got a plan for you. You just got to trust and believe that. Yeah, you don't see it right now. You don't feel it right now. You don't understand it right now. Joseph didn't understand it. But as soon as he saw his brothers and that pressure cooker, he finally flipped the lid so he can release that pressure, let that stuff out that he had been holding for years, and nothing came out of it but love and forgiveness. And so then they were able to move on as a family. And then when they went back, he told the brothers, he said, go back, get your daddy, but get our daddy, get our father, get all the family, bring them back. Bring them back. But when you on your way home, don't y'all be tripping. Don't be trying to figure out how you're going to say, this is exactly what I want you to tell daddy when you get home. Tell them that I'm alive. And tell him to get everybody, pack it all up, and come on back. I'm going to give you some stuff for your journey there, but don't stay there. Get everybody, come on back here to Egypt, and let's be together as a family. So that's the third piece right there, was simply reunion. Family. It's nothing better. Man, can you imagine what that spread was like? I'm sure they had the grill out, they barbecuing chicken and got hamburgers and hot dogs and filet mignon and all of that stuff, right? They eating good, right? They got lamb, they got everything on the grill, right? They got the poke and beans, they got, baked beans, they got the potato salad, they got the corn on the cob, they got all that going on, right? Because now the family is back together. And it's an awesome time when the family come together. And that's exactly what happened in chapter 45. And as a result, the father of Israel, Jacob, when they went and told him, when the brothers returned and told him, they said he was so astonished that his heart almost stopped. He almost died. His heart almost stopped working. The ticker almost stopped ticking because he was so blown away with the words that came out of their mouth. And you can only imagine what emotions he felt, because he knew his son was long gone, like gone 30 years ago, gone. Can you imagine finding out that your child is alive 30 years later? And I'm guessing on the number. Don't quote me on the number. But can you imagine you living your life for almost 30 years thinking you done lost your child, and come to find out your child is alive? Jacob realizes, / Israel realizes that his son is alive. Let's pack up and go. Let's get the family together. Let's do some forgiveness. Let's show some love. Let's get the family together. There's so much power in that. There's so much greatness when we come together as family. So, family, I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Read chapter 45. It is so good. It is so good. And hopefully it would encourage you. Pick that phone up and make that phone call. Have that conversation with that person that you've been holding that grudge with for all these years. It might have been just a week. It might have been 10 years. It don't matter. Pick the phone up. Make that phone call. Stop by the house. Stop by their job. You know where they at. You know exactly where they at. Go make that connection. Let's get some forgiveness going on. Let's show some love so we can get back together where we need to be, so that we can encourage each other, we can push each other, we can uphold each other. Iron sharpens iron, so we can get stronger, we can get better. Family, let's make it do what it do. Pray, plan, prepare, proceed. Make that phone call. Make it do what it do. Love you. See you next week at 6:30, maybe. But I would leave a message and let you know. But love you.